Today we're gonna show you the SCR-508 World War II radio. This radio was used in tanks. SCR stands for Signal Corps Radio, and the radio basically consists of the BC-604 transmitter and two BC-603 receivers. The transmitter is crystal controlled. You can program 10 channels. I'll show you that later. And the receiver is basically MO tuned, variable tuned, but you can preset 10 channels that correspond obviously to the transmitter. It's basically like an old car radio. They use the same concept. The SCR-508 has two receivers. One was usually programmed to be transceived with the transmitter. The other one was basically to listen across the rest of the band. As you can see, the radio covers 20 megahertz to 28 megahertz, and it is MO tuned. If you remove this button, then it's locked, and then you basically can use the push button programming. The BC-604 you see here was basically brand new. You have the here is the original box. All the tubes came with it. I have installed those in the radio. The radio was basically overhauled by the military to new condition. So this is a rare find. This 603 receiver also was new old stock, was never used. You're not going to find a nicer one. This one is also a 9 out of 10. They're completely original. They work perfect, and they are the way they were when they were used in World War II. The receivers run off two 24 dynamotors, one for one receiver, one for the other. Transmitter also runs a dynamotor, and I'll show you that in a minute. That only comes on when you transmit. Here you see the ID plate for the mounting. It is the well-known FT237 mounting. It's a very rare find, or difficult to find. This particular one was never used. It did darken a little bit from being stored for so long, but it was also never used, and it's in perfect condition. Like I said, I don't think there is a nicer SCR-508 in the world than this one. It's just plain perfect. Alright, we'll show you the inside of the transmitter. This is the cover. It has the schematic diagram on the inside. This is the inside of the radio. If we slide out the crystal box, which I'll show you in a minute, here you see the dynamotor also for 24 volts. These are the tubes. There are these steel tubes, and this is the 1624 PA tube. Basically a directly heated 807, if you're familiar with that tube. Radio is specified for 20 to 30 watts, so it gives off quite a lot of power. Like I said, everything can be preset. That's basically underneath here, these adjusters. This is the transmit receive relay. This is the matching unit for the antenna. Here you see the crystals. As you can see, the radio covers 20 megahertz all the way to 27.9, and it does that in 100 kilohertz steps. So this one is completely complete for the crystals. The crystals go in here. This is a temperature controlled crystal holder, an oven basically. Not a very aggressive oven, thank God. It only comes on at 70 Fahrenheit, switches off at about 110 Fahrenheit. So it's not an aggressive oven. I don't like those. And this is where the crystals go. I have one installed right now, 26.4 megahertz, and I'll show you that later, how that works. The drawer slides back in here, as you can see. And then the cover basically it goes over this again. Here you see the ID plate for the transmitter. This is the ID plate for the first receiver. This one is for the second receiver. Completely original. just as it was used in World War II. This is the antenna output, and the radio is fairly well matched into 50 ohms. Actually, the manual specifies it for 40 ohms, but it works well in 50 ohms. I basically have it to these terminals. This is the transmitter receiver output. This is receiver only. But like I said, the receiver also runs over this cable and is then switched by the antenna relay. Pretty straightforward. Alright, let's start firing it up. We'll start with this receiver. As you can hear, the dynamotor is kicking in. Now the receiver has indirect heated tubes, so it takes a while before it starts making noise. Now remember, this is a frequency modulated wideband frequency modulated radio. That was done on purpose because wideband FM has processing gain. So once the signal is basically above the quiescent level, it can be received better than amplitude modulation. But that also means that we're obviously not going to receive anything here, but I will later show you the radio working with another station, another military radio from those days. This is how you switch it to MO. What you now hear is 27 MHz band. There is some propagation. Basically, you can sometimes understand what they're saying by slope detection, but obviously it's not going to sound nice because 27 MHz uses AM. Now we're at 25. This is a broadcast station, but again, you know, it's not going to be sounding very well at AM, at FM. Now you can hear the time signal, 25 MHz, so the dial is accurate. More broadcast. This is the ham band, 21 MHz CW, and some single sideband. And here should be another time signal. You see the dial is accurate, 20 MHz. So that's the receiver, receiver number 1. So let's turn on receiver number 2. So this was 1. There we go. Again, it needs to warm up a bit. There we go. Basically the same behavior. Broadcast and ham band. And the time signal. As you can see, dial is accurate. Now I'll show you this radio while we're tuning it into the transmitter. As you remember, the transmitter is at 26.4, and that is channel 9, position 9, and we will set this one for 26.4, and there is a tuning procedure. Receiver tune. Oh, I didn't turn it on. There we go. So, okay, so the transmitter is now in the tune position. If we now tune across the band by putting this in tune, you can hear the BFO. So the trick is to set this for 0 beat, and then your receiver is 0 beat with the transmitter. So now we're tuned at exactly the same frequency. Now, like I said, I already had this pre-programmed, so when I push this button, it is already there. I had this pre-programmed earlier. I'll show you that if I go to another frequency. If I then push the button, it goes back to 26.4, which I had programmed earlier. That's basically the way you program this radio. There is a screw here that you can release, then you can set it to the right channel with the tuning, and then by readjusting that screw again, you can get the channel programmed. Pretty simple. It's explained in the manual. So now we got this radio at exactly the same frequency as the transmitter. Alright, let's do some transmitting here. Now I'm using, as a microphone, I'm using this TS13C handset, which is not the correct handset for this radio, but it works. And I'm only using the microphone section. The telephone section is not used. The radio can also handle dynamic microphones. Then you have to deal with this connector here. This is a carbon microphone. What I can do, if I transmit, the receiver obviously goes off. I gotta turn off the tuning. 1, 2, 3. We're now at the transmitter. You see, it gives off about 20-21 watts. If I turn on the radio to intercom, I can hear myself back to the receiver. 1, 2, 3. A little bit loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the transmitter modulation received by the receiver. That is basically the receiver receiving its own signal from the transmitter. But like I said, I will later show you this radio with another station. It lives about 5 miles away from here, and we'll show you how that works. Alright, we got the whole radio set up here. Let's bring it to life. Receiver 1, receiver 2. Needs to warm up a bit. Let's tune in. Alright, that receiver is tuned. That's tuned as well. So we got 2 receivers, both at 26.4. watts. Knife calling variable, knife calling variable. Do you copy? Come in, over.
Variable returning for knife. Variable for knife. Yes, I copy. Do you copy me? Over.
Knife returning for variable. Knife returning for variable. Yes, I copy. I got an excellent copy on you, variable. A copy of 5x9. 5x9, over.
Roger that, knife. Roger that. Good copy on you as well. 5x9 and excellent modulation. Did you copy that, knife? Over.
Yeah, I did, variable. Yes, I did. What radio are you currently using, over?
Variable for knife. Variable for knife. Roger that, knife. I'm using the SCR-510. The SCR-510. So it is the BC-620 mounted on my RA-120 rectifier power supply. The BC-620 mounted on my RA-120 rectifier power supply. I'm running it from the AC power right now, so how's that working? You get any hum? Over?
Very well, knife returning for you. Roger that. The SCR-510, I copy that. Your BC-620 on the RA-120 rectifier. It all works very well. I do not detect any hum, over.
Very well for knife. Okay, good deal. I was not quite sure if this RA-120 still works. I've not used it in ages. Glad to hear it's still doing the job. Over.
Knife for variable. Give me some carrier, then I can listen for hum, and also to my receiver exactly onto your signal, over.
Knife, no problem. That's
I got him real good.
How did that work, Knife? Do you hear any hum? Over.
No, nice signal. Knife calling very well. It's perfect signal. Do not detect any hum whatsoever. Looks like those filter caps in your RA-120 are doing just fine. Perfect signal. It also gave me a chance to tune the receiver exactly on your frequency, over.
Very well returning from Knife. Roger, Knife. Good deal. Glad the old lady still works. Over.
Roger that, very well, do copy. Are you running the full 2 watt from the 620, and what is your antenna situation, over?
Very well returning from Knife. Not sure what power I'm running right now from the 620, but it must be close to the standard 2 watts. They have not made any changes after I peak-tuned the radio since the restoration that I did a few years back. So I'm assuming it runs the full 2 watts. The antenna that I'm currently using is a wire antenna that I screwed onto the antenna terminal of the TM218 terminal box. Remember, that's the antenna box that mounts on the back of the 620 radio. The wire is about 7 feet long. That is what the manual recommends, if my memory serves me right. I'm not running the whip antenna right now. That's too much hassle to set that up. Did you copy all of that, Knife? Over.
Knife calling variable, knife calling variable. Excellent. Your setup works great. I was hit by the long distance radar from Uncle Sam, but you came over it quite well. What was the BC-620 bias battery still good? Is your BC-620 bias battery still good in that radio, over?
Variable for Knife, yes, I made one myself using a whole stack of lithium coin cells. They cost almost nothing if you buy them directly from China, so that's what I did. So with this stack I made 60 volt and 25 volt bias voltages. The third bias voltage, which requires 4.5 volt, as you might remember, I actually have at 3.2 volt right now from a single coil cell. So that's a bit too low, but since that voltage is only used as a negative bias voltage for the audio amplifier tube, I figured it's not that big of a deal, and it seems to work just fine. Over.
Knife for variable, roger that, thanks for the details. Yes, that's an excellent idea, because those lithium batteries have a very low self-discharge, and they do not leak once they're dead, so you don't have to constantly worry about your vintage radio being damaged from your battery leakage. Excellent idea, over.
Variable calling Knife, variable calling for Knife. Yes, you're right, this battery setup works just perfect. Over.
Roger, variable. Thanks for the details. I got some Spanish guys on the frequency, but we'll ignore them. Your BC-620 sounds damn good. Let me listen to your modulation a bit better. Give me some more modulation, over.
No problem, Knife, no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did that work for you, Knife? That is my navigation plan. Over.
Knife for variable. Sounds pretty good. I'm getting you now on the second BC-603 receiver. That one has the not as good as a speaker as the other one, I think. So that sounded okay. Let's do that again, but now for the first receiver again. I would like to compare, so give me the numbers once more, okay, over?
Show the numbers again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see how that first BC-603 receiver is working for you. Knife, over.
Roger, knife for variable. That sounds good as well, but the second receiver speaker is not as nice as the first one. That's exactly like I remember it actually. But I got a full quieting copy, so you got an excellent signal strength. No problem at all with that radio, with the 2 watts. Over.
Roger that, Knife. It's so good to hear you got the whole SCR-508 up and running. It sure is an impressive radio. Over.
Roger, variable. Roger. Yes, it sure is. And it works like a champ. It gives me more than 25 watts right now. Gives me more than 25 watts right now. I was able to match it into 50 ohms. So I have the Bird 43 on it right now. The Bird 43 watt meter. Shows me the full 25 watts, over.
Knife, roger that. Is that the new old-stock BC-604 transmitter that you're using in this SCR-508 setup? Over.
Knife for variable, knife for variable. Yes, you're right. I'm using that unused BC-604. I still got the original box for it, and the transmitter works like a champ. I got it all aligned and ready to go. Over.
Very well returning. Yeah, that sure was a rare find. I've never seen a new unused BC-604. Yours is the only one. The receivers that you have on the setup are also perfect, I remember. Over.
Knife for variable. Yes, you're right. They're completely original. One has actually never seen active duty. The other one very light duty. They are like new. There is zero corrosion on them and there is no damage whatsoever. And fully original with the correct dynamotor. As you know, Knife, I only want my radios completely original. Even the schematic diagram is still on the bottom of both receivers without any damage. They are excellent units, if I might say so myself. I got very lucky with those. Over.
Very well for Knife. Yes, it's a good thing you found that perfect FT237 mount. Those things are rarer than MC, and if you find them, they're almost always completely rusted. You were damn lucky to find such a nice one. Over.
Knife for variable, knife for variable. Yes, that's true, but it wasn't cheap. But you know, you want something good, you gotta pay for it, I guess. In any case, I'm going to call it quits, variable. Thank you for letting me try this out. This SCR-508 equipment seems to do the job. Over.
My attention, so I better get to it before the boss starts making trouble. Take care and talk to you soon. Variable, over and out.
Alright, knife for variable. Roger that, Knife. Thanks again, and till the next time. Over and out. Bye-bye.
Lots of interference from CB, but it works quite well. And that concludes our video for the SCR-508 with the BC-604 transmitter and 2 BC-603 receivers, all in original World War II condition. What you see here is basically what the soldiers were facing as they were in battle in their tanks. This is the radio they were using. Thank you for watching this video.